Hello, today we will recap a motivational sports movie, in which a young boy after facing humiliation becomes a formidable fighter. Before we start, please subscribe to our channel for free because we'll upload new videos regularly. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and enjoy. 10-year-old Hua is the son of a martial arts master named Endi. Despite Hua's passion for Kung Fu, his father, worried about his asthma, prohibits him from participating in training. Undeterred, Hua attempts to sneak into his father's classes to learn the basics of Kung Fu. His only friend, a nerdy kid named Jin Sun, helps him by doing Hua's calligraphy homework, allowing him more time to pursue his training. Endi, the second-best martial artist in their town, faces a looming challenge from Zhao, the current best. Hua is confident that victory will undoubtedly belong to his father's skilled hands. Endi dominates the match, on the brink of delivering a decisive blow to Zhao. But his commitment to fair play and ethical beliefs prevent him from landing the fatal strike. Seizing this moment of hesitation, Zhao takes advantage and wins the match in a dishonorable manner, exploiting Endi's sense of decency. Heartbroken by his father's defeat, Hua faces another challenge when Zhao's son challenges him to a fight. Despite his confidence, Hua is quickly defeated. Hua solemnly vows to restore his family's honor and become the best martial artist in Tianjin. Determined to achieve his goal, he and Jin Sun sneak into his father's library and take his book on martial arts. With this stolen knowledge, Hua dedicates himself to relentless training, day and night, without rest. When Hua believes he is ready, he challenges Zhao to another fight. This time, Zhao, confident as ever, is quickly shown to be weak against the skill and dedication of a trained and determined Hua. Several years pass, and Hua grows into a formidable martial artist. His father and wife have both passed away, leaving him alone with his little daughter, his pride and joy. Since his last victorious fight against Zhao, Hua has remained undefeated, establishing a legacy in martial arts. Over the years, he gained a considerable fan following, becoming a celebrated figure in martial arts. Amidst his success, Hua begins to develop pride, gradually forgetting the principles instilled by his father. His focus shifts from martial arts practice to endless revelry, and his disciples, once dedicated to training, are now more interested in having fun. Some nights, he drinks to the point of forgetting to return home to his daughter. One evening, he turns to his best friend Jin Sun, now a wealthy businessman and owner of a famous restaurant. Hua, true to form, drinks until midnight, treating his followers to endless food. Jin Sun's assistant reminds him that Hua has not paid his mounting bills for over a year. Later that night, Jin Sun attempts to reason with Hua, recognizing that his disciples are drawn to him solely for the free food and drinks he provides. Jin Sun, concerned about Hua's spending habits, advises him to be more cautious, but Hua dismisses it, considering Jin Sun to be overly frugal. The next day, Hua encounters his biggest rival, Qin, the only opponent he has yet to face. Qin, having defeated every adversary, is widely regarded as the best in martial arts. A minor altercation between them wounds Hua's pride. At night, one of Hua's followers is brought to him on a stretcher, having been beaten up by Qin for some unknown reason. Filled with anger, Hua assumes it was an act of spite. In Jin Sun's restaurant, Qin and his family celebrate his birthday. Suddenly, Hua storms in, starting to drink at a nearby table. Qin, wanting to avoid a fight, requests Hua to set aside their rivalry for the night. However, Hua, fueled by anger, refuses to back down. Jin Sun attempts to intervene, but he, too, is insulted. In a fit of rage, Hua severs their lifelong friendship. Fueled by anger and a desire to prove himself, Hua challenges Qin to a fight. Concerned for their safety, everyone evacuates the restaurant, leaving the two fighters alone. The battle is intense, and both display matched skill and strength. When anger overwhelms Hua, he abandons fair play, relentlessly beating Qin until he is exhausted, delivering a fatal blow to his chest. Returning home in the morning, Hua discovers his mother's lifeless body on her bed. Qin's followers, seeking revenge, have killed her. Grieving her death, Hua suddenly realizes that his daughter is also in the house. Entering her room, he is met with a devastating sight. Covered in blood, she lies on her bed, clutching a little pouch she had promised to give him upon his return. Devastated by the unintended consequences of his actions, Hua, broken and filled with guilt, steps outside when his disciples reveal that the man Qin beat had insulted his wife. It becomes clear that Qin acted not out of spite but to defend his wife's honor. Consumed by regret and sorrow, Hua believes there is no reason to continue living. He boards the first ship, lying down in a corner, indifferent to its destination. Attempting something drastic, he is rescued by a group of people by the river who bring him to their tribe, where he receives care. Despite regaining consciousness, Hua sinks into depression, refusing to communicate. Moon, a blind woman in the tribe, takes on the responsibility of caring for him. Concerned about his well-being, she senses his hair and offers to cut it. One day, Moon helps Hua cut his hair, symbolizing his initiation into their community. He becomes an active member, contributing to cooking, farming, and household chores. Over the course of a year, a bond forms between Moon and Hua, evolving into a romantic connection. Their peaceful existence is disrupted when a child from their tribe is caught stealing a cow from a neighboring community. The grandmother and Moon plead for forgiveness from the rival leader. Despite their pleas, according to the rival community's tradition, the one who committed the mistake must endure a beating until an incense burns out. In a selfless act, Hua speaks up for the tribe and volunteers to take the beating in place of the child. The punishment for adults involves a different challenge, requiring Hua to fight against the rival leader. Despite possessing the skills to swiftly defeat him, Hua refrains from using his martial knowledge to harm others. Initially, Hua doesn't defend himself, choosing non-resistance. Then, with a bit of encouragement from the grandmother, he begins to skillfully dodge the leader's attacks. As the incense burns down, the leader fails to land a single blow on Hua. Accepting his defeat, the leader acknowledges Hua's prowess, and praises him for his exceptional skill and restraint. The next day, Hua, Moon, and the children of the tribe are in the field. The children express a desire to learn Kung Fu from Hua, but he refuses, recognizing the potential consequences of wielding such power. He values the peaceful atmosphere of the village and wishes to preserve it. The children innocently observe the close connection between Hua and Moon, but the adults overlook their comments. One day, Moon visits her parents' graves, prompting Hua to reflect on his own family, including his daughter whom he abandoned after her death. Now in a better mental condition, he decides to return home to visit their graves. Sharing his plan with Moon, she encourages him with joy. Hua promises to return soon and asks her to wait for him. In the following scene, Hua enters his hometown Tianjin, witnessing the drastic transformation it has undergone. Following the fall of the Qin dynasty, China faced attacks from powerful nations, leading to partial colonization. Hua comes back to his old home in Tianjin, but it looks really run down now. The family's servant, Lai Fu, greets him. Lai Fu tried to keep things the way they were, but after Hua left, some people came and messed up the house, looking for money. Hua goes to his family's grave and says sorry to his dad. He finally understands why he didn't throw the punch years ago when he could have become the best player. The visit makes him realize the impact of his choices and the changes. Following that, he expresses his apologies to Hua's family. While exploring the city, he notices a wrestler named Hercules O'Brien challenging Chinese individuals to fight. Hercules boasts an undefeated record and is certain of his upcoming victory. Hua, aiming to preserve Chinese heritage, desires to challenge him, but this endeavor requires some financial support. Next, he visits Jin Sun, offering apologies for past actions and assuring that he's learned from them. When Jin Sun learns about Hua's need for money to challenge Hercules O'Brien, he promptly provides the funds through an assistant. Then, at the 1909 race club in Shanghai, Hercules faced off against Hua. At first sight, someone as small as Hua seems unlikely to defeat Hercules, who is twice his size. Before the match kicks off, Hua asks for a fair and respectful fight. Due to a language barrier, the announcer misinterprets Hua's request as, "he wants to kick your butt," leading to laughter from Hercules. The fight commences, and to everyone's surprise, Hua quickly takes control. In the midst of the intense match, Hua prevents his opponent from getting impaled on the nails at the side of the ring. Showing sportsmanship, Hercules acknowledges his defeat, declaring Hua the winner. Hua earns widespread recognition from this solitary fight and is summoned to Shanghai. There, he encounters Jin Sun, who suggests the creation of the Qin Wu Athletic Association. This institution aims to instruct Chinese students in the art of Kung Fu, providing a means to safeguard their heritage despite persistent foreign influence and pressure. Meanwhile, a faction of officials from the foreign chamber becomes uneasy with Hua's increasing popularity among the Chinese populace. They worry that his victories against foreign fighters might incite anti-foreign sentiments. In an attempt to ensure Hua's defeat in the next match, they suggest a challenging scenario, a single-day competition where Hua faces 4 consecutive foreign champions. The Japanese representative, Mr. Mita, vows to put an end to Hua once and for all. Despite recognizing the difficulty of the challenge and the apparent strategy to make him lose, Hua agrees to participate. On the eve of the significant bout, Hua encounters his rival, the Japanese champion Tanaka. They engage in a friendly conversation over tea and form a bond. Tanaka proves to be a fair and honorable sportsman, similar to Hua, in contrast to the individual sponsoring him. Fast forward to the day of the fight. Hua is pitted against 3 fighters from various parts of the world, yet none of them lasts more than 2 minutes in the ring. Hua effortlessly defeats all 3 opponents without breaking a sweat. In the final confrontation, Hua faces Tanaka, who expresses regret for the unfair circumstances and suggests rescheduling. Hua, displaying sportsmanship, insists it's okay, and the first round commences. Armed with their chosen weapons, Hua wields a Sanjigun, while Tanaka opts for a katana. In the heat of the intense battle, they unintentionally swap weapons. Recognizing Tanaka's unfamiliarity with the Sanjigun, Hua proposes an exchange to ensure a fair fight. The first round concludes in a draw due to the impasse. During the break before the next round, Hua unknowingly consumes poison tea provided by Mr. Mita, who is determined to witness Hua's defeat by any means. As the next round begins, Hua collapses, coughing up blood almost immediately. Concerned for Hua's well-being, Tanaka insists that the match be stopped for the safety of the ailing fighter. When Hua realizes he has been poisoned, he chooses to press on, accepting his impending demise. Despite his exhaustion and being moments away from death, Hua summons the strength to execute a concluding strike to Tanaka's chest, employing the same technique that led to Qin's demise. Yet, this time, he restrains the force of the blow, demonstrating growth from his past actions. Right after the strike, he collapses. Tanaka, recognizing Hua's noble act of holding back the lethal blow, declares him the winner of the match. Hua succumbs to the effects of the poison, falling into the arms of his friend. Witnessing the tragic outcome, Tanaka directs his anger towards Mr. Mita, condemning him for resorting to murder in the name of pride and considering him a disgrace to Japan. Tanaka's harsh words echo as he storms away in disapproval. In the final scene, Hua's spirit reaches the field outside Moon's house. Despite her blindness, Moon senses his presence and runs towards him, marking the poignant end of Hua's journey,